All right, let's just jump right in. What if I told you that everything we think we know about reality is completely backwards? Today, we're diving into a theory called the Singularity of Infinity, and it's a wild one. It suggests that consciousness isn't just some random thing happening inside the universe, but the actual force that creates it.
The guy behind this theory, Reace Freeman, kicks things off with this idea. And it really sets the tone, doesn't it? This isn't about crunching numbers or scientific measurement. It's about a deep, quiet, internal kind of knowing. This quote is our compass for today. We're definitely heading into philosophical territory.
So here's our game plan. First up, we're going to meet the mind behind the theory. Then we'll unpack the 5 scales of reality he lays out. After that, we'll look at how it all gets connected in this great cosmic loop. And then, for the big finale, we'll bring it all back home to you. Okay, so to really get this theory, you kind of have to get the person who dreamed it up. Reace Freeman's whole persona isn't just, some background detail. It's actually woven right into the DNA of his work. To really understand the theory, you have to look at the values driving the man. He chooses alignment over approval, truth over tradition. You can see this pattern, right? This is someone who isn't trying to just fit into the box. He's trying to build a whole new one. And that perspective, right there, is the key to unlocking his entire philosophy. Wow, this mantra gives you a pretty powerful peek into what makes him tick. He's not just shouting into the void for attention. He feels like he has to speak. It's like he believes that conventional silence on these big topics has become a lie in itself. It's a total call to challenge the way things are. And this line, this gets right to the heart of it. It's not about being famous or getting a round of applause. The goal is to leave a permanent mark, to fundamentally change the way people see reality itself. He's definitely playing the long game here.
This description just nails it, doesn't it? It's this perfect mix of, a down-to-earth, modern vibe with this really deep, almost ancient kind of wisdom. It paints this picture of a guide who's both one of us and, at the same time, totally revolutionary. So let's follow this prophet in denim and boots into the core of his theory.
All right, now we get to the heart of the theory itself. It all unfolds across 5 different but connected scales of existence. It's a journey that's going to take us from a single thought in your brain all the way out to the cosmos.
And here it is. This is the big, radical claim. Science usually sees consciousness as this sort of lucky accident of our biology. Well, this theory just flips that whole script upside down. It says consciousness comes first. It's the foundation, kind of like the operating system that runs the entire universe. So here are the 5 scales that map it all out. It starts with you, the individual. Then it expands out to the whole planet, then the cosmos, then the entire universe, and finally to something Freeman calls the omniversal field. Let's zoom right in on scale 1, because this is where it gets really personal. The theory says your thought isn't just a passive thing. It's not just you reacting to the world. No, it's a dimensional initiator. It's actively building your reality from the inside out, creating the blueprint before you even do anything. But how?
Well, it happens in 3 key ways. First, your thoughts literally bend time. You can pull from the past with memory or jump into the future with foresight. Second, every single choice you make, it collapses an infinite number of possibilities into one single real action. And third, through things like intuition or creativity, your thoughts are actually talking to these deeper, unseen levels of reality.
Okay, now let's zoom out to scale 2. If your individual thoughts shape your reality, what happens when all of our thoughts get together? Well, according to this, our collective beliefs create what we call consensus reality. Our governments, our sciences, our myths, they aren't just describing the world. They're the very filters that build it.
From the planet, the theory keeps expanding. Scale 3 is cosmic consciousness. Think the awareness of an entire galaxy. Then scale 4 is universal consciousness, the whole shebang for one universe. And then, at the very, very top, we hit scale 5, the origin point, the omniversal field. This is pure consciousness, the literal source code where every possible reality comes from. It's the one single point that holds all the other points. So we've got these 5 scales from you and me all the way out to the omniverse. But how do they connect? How do they talk to each other? That's what brings us to the great cosmic loop, the engine that makes this whole thing run. The secret ingredient here is something called fractal recursion. It sounds complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It just means that the same basic pattern repeats itself over and over again at every single level. From how a neuron fires in your brain to how a galaxy evolves, it's the same universal, self-similar cycle everywhere.
And this is that cycle. Look how elegant it is. It's a simple 3-step dance. First, thought becomes matter. Then, that matter, over eons, becomes aware of itself. And finally, that awareness completes the circle by becoming thought again, ready to start the whole process over.
This quote just sums it up perfectly. The loop isn't just some dumb mechanical process. It's the engine. Yeah, it drives creation. But it's also the mirror. It's how the universe gets to look at itself, to know itself, through us and every other little piece of awareness. Okay. We have journeyed all the way to the edge of the omniverse and back, but the real punchline of this whole theory is what it means for every single one of us, right here, right now. This is where we bring the cosmos back to you. And that leads us to the most important question of all. If consciousness is the #1 force in the universe, and your own thought is the tool that shapes reality, what on earth does that actually mean for your life? The theory basically gives you a choice. 2 ways to see yourself. On one hand, you can be a passive observer, just a tiny person kind of lost in this huge, vast universe. Or you can choose to be an active architect. You can realize that you're not just in the universe, you are the universe, just folded in on itself, waking up and becoming aware for a little while. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful thought. If there's one big takeaway, it's this. Reality isn't some locked room that we're all trapped in. It's more like a hallway with an infinite number of doors. And the key to open any one of them, you've already got it. It's your own consciousness, your own thought. The only question left is, which door are you going to open?